give them a couple of seconds to file in here. We're running a little bit late. My apologies. It is all on my behalf. I'm running a little late. Let me make sure I get this camera pointed up. Good enough. Good enough here.
I'm sure the viewers heard of BPT.
Well, hopefully they're all right, and or if they don't catch us in the live, they can always catch us in the recast.
Exactly.
Hello, everybody. This is Talk of the Ages. I'm your host, Marcus Cage, other known as Young Morpheus, or to some out there with much love, I hope. I'm also known as Marcus Rage. I'm here with my young progeny here, my go-to young ace, who's keeping me in touch with all the things that are going on with the younger generations. Tonight we got an interesting show that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. I'm pretty sure that there's always so much more research I could have done and more things that I could have pulled together for this, but I feel like I got a good solid list. So tonight we are going to talk movies. Well, I guess I titled it Metaverse and Film. So for those who don't get what that's talking about movies that show at least some kind of predictive programming into the metaverse. And so I got about 22 movies here and a couple of honorable mentions. Most are movies. I believe one is a TV. I guess yeah, one's a TV show, and a couple other ones that I have are TV shows. Also, some are some old school, some are some new school. I didn't count the ones that are trilogies or remakes. I just count them as one altogether. But before we get into that, there's been some news about the Travis Scott um, concert that Jalen's going to get into. Also, for some of you, I wasn't very aware of this young man, yes, young rapper who was killed in Memphis, goes by the name of Lil
Yeah,
Dolph, I guess.
Young
So,
Dolph.
yeah, I don't really know much about that. Condolences to his family and to his fans out there. Definitely, it's sad to hear any young lives being snuffed out. Of course, so I'm gonna step away for about 30 seconds, grab my coffee, and then Jalen's gonna kind of update you guys on this Travis Scott thing, and I'll be right back.
Oh, what's going on, guys? So, for those of you who haven't known, Travis Scott, the rapper, I'm sure you've seen all the concert videos. So, you know that people have died and there were people being trampled. So, he's facing $2 billion in liability for damages and deaths. And I don't know if it's a suit or it's a case, I'm not for sure. But if he's facing the $2 billion in damage, you have to wonder, where is his liability? If he's standing at the top of the stage with thousands of people and he's just performing, we don't know what he's thinking. You can't even tell if he can see the bottom. And there were reports that people were dead on the floor. There was reports that people were being stabbed with needles. There was a bunch of different reports, different changes. It seems like another case of cancel culture. He's losing all
Yeah,
his.
I want. Sorry to interrupt you real quick, but I wanted to ask one quick question on that. I did hear about the needles also. Were there any more updates on that part? Because some people had said that yeah, it was fentanyl in there. Some people
Yeah,
have just
I read that. I read the fentanyl. I read that one, but I haven't seen any updates on the needles. It sounds like something they just said. So you
is that
really,
confirmed though?
it wasn't confirmed. So you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Okay, because I mean I know some of that stuff is rumors, but and I do know that it was said that the police department, some of them did admit to being like they felt like they were poked with needles also. So I don't know if they were just being poked with a needle or if they were actually being injected with something. That's why I just wanted to clarify. But go on ahead. I mean, what? Hold on a second.
Sure.
You said 2 billion is what they're looking at.
2 billion. I don't know what his masters is worth, but I can assume his masters isn't worth 2 billion. It may be because he's super popular, but he's starting to lose his sponsorships, his endorsement deals, and he's being canceled for something that could be handled with an apology. It seems like if you're a celebrity of anybody in high status, if something goes wrong, a simple mistake that could be made on a regular person's behalf, and it seems like you have to make a public apology, like you hurt every single one's feelings, you should be responsible. Like, of course you feel bad, you were performing, you were doing your job, and people died. No, that wasn't the intention. Yes, it's sad, but at the same time, why do I have to go and make a public apology? Why do I have to lose my sponsorships? Why am I being fined or having to deal with a $2 billion lawsuit when the security of the venue isn't even being charged for anything? The vendor is not facing liabilities. Why is it falling on the artist? You book him. So I don't understand why they're going at him so aggressively. But it's a case you see to Baby in his comments. I mean, he did make comments, so I guess that's a different topic, but same principle. And then the same thing with any other. What's going on, Thomas? How you doing? Marcus will be back in a few. But
Hey, Thomas, how we doing, brother?
but for young Dolph, actually, for those of you who didn't know, he was killed going to a cookie shop he frequently visited whenever he was back home in Memphis. He said he was a big supporter of black-owned businesses and always got his cookies there. And I think he got gas or something else occurred, and he was shot. But they actually got 4K video of the guys running up to go and shoot him. They had an AK-47 Uzi with an extended clip, and they had Corona masks covering their face, and you could see this clear as day. You could see their eyes. They had nothing covering their eyes, and they're just running. So it looks like a senseless kill. So it's sad to say. I used to listen to his music with my brother about around 6 years ago. That's when his songs used to be on Vine before TikTok. But it's just another senseless murder it seems unnecessary. But I guess we'll see if there's a charge come out. But they're really not hiding. I mean, they're really not revealing many details. It seems as if they're trying to just let him rest in peace. In a way, whenever they're posting about him or friends or people in the industry, they're turning off the comments. So it seems like, well, I don't know. You never know what it turns to. He may be a legend tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't. Yeah, like I said, coming in, let me go slap right side. I wasn't familiar with him. I hadn't really heard. I hadn't really heard about him at all. I guess he's a
But
lot more. That's like I said. I'm getting older, so I don't
he's
always
a
know.
he's an independent artist, so he's not getting the same support as you would for a label. Well, they don't have. Well, he doesn't have the capital to spend on advertisement, so they do it all themselves. But the cool thing is he owned all his masters. So a good saying I heard was, don't chase don't chase labels, chase fans. Labels make you famous, fans make you rich. If you just appeal to your fan base and you're an independent artist, all of that goes to you. And if you get the hardcore fans, they will ride or die for you. NBA YoungBoy is a great example. He has ride or die fans. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's a rapper
I
out
know
of
the name, but that's about it.
Yeah, he's a rapper out of Baton Rouge. I mean, he tends to be in trouble a lot with the law, but he has he has a great fan base. They're very loyal. It
Hmm.
seems like older dudes get the bag and then they just start doing dumb stuff. Like, why are you still in the streets?
Well, I think a lot of that is youth. A lot of these guys are just really young, and you give a lot of money to a lot of young, irresponsible kids, and you know, bad things unfortunately happen. That's what I think, especially when you're trying to uphold a certain street image.
Hmm.
You look
Well,
bad. I
actually,
mean,
the rapper YoungBoy, he just turned 21. He's been famous since 17 years old.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But still, I mean, we don't know how much crazy stuff has been going on with these people
Before,
behind
yeah,
behind the scenes, and what kind of stuff they've been getting away with, and I'm not saying like they've been doing bad stuff and getting away with it, but I'm saying, for instance, where I grew up, if you were flashing a lot of money, you are going to get robbed eventually. And I'm saying that they could even be just some of that stuff like that. You create enemies of people you don't even know they're enemies. They just don't like
And
you because they see you and everybody likes you. I mean, so you never know with those types of things how they go down. Um, so it's definitely sad to hear that. But what you
I
were saying
saw
about Travis Barker, I mean not Travis Barker, but Travis Scott,
yeah.
2 billion.
$2
And I'm
billion.
like, that almost sounds like somebody is just trying to make a payday.
Exactly.
That's more. I mean, I'm pretty sure that those families, they're angry and they want to be compensated because they feel like, well, we'll penalize them as much as we can. I mean, I feel like that's a little over the top, in my opinion. I mean, of course, that you said before, probably an apology, and in normal circumstances, most of normal people, an apology would go some bit of the way to help. But of course, with celebrities, they're always going to want some kind of money. Money's always going to be attached to it.
Of course, because
But
they know they have it.
just the level of you making it to an amount that this person doesn't even have. I mean, you're suing them for literally everything that
Right.
they've had and possibly can have. That's just over the top.
Says breaking news: Travis Scott is now facing over $2 billion in damages from his Astroworld festival.
Yeah, see that's. I mean, they make it like Travis Scott literally did every bit of the organization,
Like he was
and
taking
every penny was going to him.
like he took lights from the lights in the stage and were blasting it in people's eyes, melting it like he was Superman, like he was murdering people. You would have thought he was going in there like Texas Chainsaw, the way it's like, oh, he should have stopped the concert. Now every single concert that's being performed on the internet, you'll see, oh yeah, see they're stopping a show, they're making an example of it, and you see how
Well, I
they
think honestly, I mean, I guess that'll segue into what we're talking about tonight. I think it's going to push for more concerts in the metaverse. Um, for those who don't know, Travis Scott did what was it? Now this also could be he could have good enough lawyers where he's going to be able to push back against this and be able to settle out of court, a certain amount and not be completely ruined forever. Um, and this might push him to I'm no longer having in-person concerts. Every concert's going to be it's going to be on the metaverse, and I think that can push for other celebrities to start doing the same thing because they don't want to have to face that liability.
wait,
Um,
Marcus, let me ask you a question.
yeah,
Okay, so I don't know if you were watching any rappers or singers or any artists of that nature. Did you notice how they, during the lockdown, they did live concerts from like remote places, but it would be streamed on your phone?
hmm
Okay. So let me ask you this: since we're jumping into the metaverse, do you think that was the early testing phases?
I do believe so. I believe your generation and even the generation younger than yours, a lot of the stuff with like Unreal games, because Unreal, that gaming company is like one of the foremost like cutting edge on a lot of this stuff. And they have a lot of top games. I can't remember because I'm not much of a gamer these days.
I think they.
But
I
for
think
anybody
they're
who
one of our favorite games, actually.
I'll say anybody who is a gamer who's in here live, please, give me some of these other ones which you know of, which are big on VR and stuff like that, to add. But for lack of better, I'll stick with Unreal because I know that they're one of the people who've done a lot of work on this front. Um, and whoever does the let's see, Thomas says 2 billion. The guy is in debt for life. I think the concert and arena managers should be held accountable too. Rock, rap, even country concerts can get wild. I used to be security at a casino slash resort. I completely agree. I've
You
done I actually worked at an amphitheater for a summer when I was younger, and I could tell you that concert. There's no way anybody would have saw anything out there. What's up, Optimus? One of these days, we got to get you on one of these lives with us. Maybe either coming in here with me and Jay, or coming on to the political matrix. You know, the other day I enjoyed your coverage on that protest for Cuba. So keep up the good work out there. For those who are listening, go over and check out Utter's channel, uh, and go and check out Thomas's channel also. I'm not sure if he's doing any kind of if he's still doing live content. I haven't saw anything new in a while, but he does have some good stuff to just go back to and could teach you a lot of things. But yeah, what Thomas comment, that's death for life.
exactly.
Are we at the point where
That would even
if
hit
there's an
JT.
accident, in a concert, a person's career needs to be destroyed forever? I
Yeah,
mean,
they got to make an example.
I honestly don't believe. Say you're on another live stream. Hello.
Hmm.
Um. Yeah. I'll shoot you a message. But I, I think that and you guys know, I tend to be more on the conspiracy theory side on some things, and I'm unapologetic about that. But I do think all of this is pushing us more and more to this metaverse. And I talked to some people who are my age or a little bit older, and they're just like, I can't wrap my head around, virtual buying virtual dollars and buying like Tom Brady's virtual football, and buying virtual, taking real money to buy imaginary stuff in an electronic world. But the younger generations, and I'm saying younger than all of us, they are being more and more programmed into it.
You
One of
know,
my girl's friends, I'm watching a video of her kid. He's dancing around with the VR glasses on, and so I'm like, the more and more they get the kids into these things, when they get to your age and my age, it's going to become the norm. So it's going to be, and I feel like since they're able to get them directly into the technology,
mhm.
the way they were trying to do it with us to soften us to it, because they knew that we weren't going to be readily just jump right into it, was to throw movies at us and put it in entertainment. And even if we didn't get into it, so we would have more of an indifferent opinion about it, so that we wouldn't automatically just be resistant and against it. So I guess I'll go down my list of movies. Um, like I said
before you
before,
before
for
you get
anybody that's tuning. Oh no, go ahead.
before you get into movies, can I just mention a few things?
Sure, go ahead.
So you were speaking of the generation. So it's funny. My father's always saying that he always used to say, "Y'all always just want to play the video game. That's all you guys want to do." But once we got bikes, we would go outside. We would try to build ramps. We would try to do wheelies off the speed bumps. We would love to go to the store to get ices, candy. We played manhunt at night. We still went outside. A kid in the neighborhood had a trampoline. We used to uh, try to mow people's grass for money. We try to wash people's cars for money. Now, when you get to the generation after, like maybe 6, 7, 8
But
years.
see, I think that's only because your father kind of raised you to be a little bit more older in the generation, or because of your older brother.
Well,
That's what I think.
I had an older brother too, so we used to be outside. We used to play football in the street. I was riding my bike, learning how to ride the bike in the middle of the street. We used to play tackle in the grass, and then my brother was always beating me up, so I had to toughen up too. And then not only that, we would he used to pick me up from school on his pegs. So a lot of kids now did that. Like kids can't even walk home. I remember having to walk home from school. The distances won't be far, but now it's like, oh, they can get kidnapped. It wasn't even like that when I was a kid. Like you usually would have someone meet you. Like you would walk and then you knew to meet your brother or mom and dad at that specific spot. or you usually didn't have a phone, but if that the home phone, as soon as you got home, you called your mom and let them know you were home.
Yeah, I mean, but be honest, there's not many kids your age that were doing that.
But I can't really say that because the kids I was going hanging around, they were still doing the same things. I did start noticing different shifts though for the younger generation. When I was around 10, 11, we started noticing. I was living in New York with my grandparents at the time, and they used to watch the news every single night, every morning. My grandfather loved his MSNBC. So um, they started saying, "Oh, kids were being kidnapped. Start placing these trackers in your kid's backpack. That's why my kid has a phone, so I can reach it." Now I was trying to advertise phones for kids because kids my age didn't have a phone. If you got a phone, it was a flip phone, and it probably didn't work. You didn't get your first phone till maybe 11, 12, and you didn't get a fully operating touchscreen phone till maybe the middle of middle school or maybe high school. Now these kids are in sixth grade, 11 years old, fifth grade with the newest iPhone and maybe like the 2, 3 generations. But it has facial recognition already, Face ID to unlock. We didn't have any of that. Like I remember using my mom's old BlackBerry and playing Pandora and like just hoping a song I liked came on. Like they're growing up with already having that stuff installed. There wasn't any Apple Music. There wasn't any Apple Music. Just go right to your phone. That came when I was like a preteen teenager. I
But but we could take that back a little bit further. When I was a preteen teenager, none of that stuff existed. I mean,
exactly.
if you had a pager, you were fancy. So that I mean, just a little difference in the times. Like first, I got my first cell phone when I was about 20. So that's what I'm saying. There were no real cell phones when
I
I
got
was in high school.
my first phone at 10, but it was only because I was in New York with my grandparents, and my parents were in Florida, so I had a phone just to speak to them or whatever. But I never used it, and it was a sidekick. But I destroyed it. Like I never used it. My grandma got me a phone, a flip phone. I lost it like 6 times the first time I got it. So it was like it wasn't a big thing. Now, like this homegirl I have, her sister is always on the phone, and I'm like, oh, you're a zombie. And they're like,
Well, that's the goal to get you guys more on the phones, more and more and more and more. You know,
like everything they do, they gotta have their phone in their hand or FaceTiming their friends. Like we used to FaceTime and sit on the phone, and my dad would say, "How do you guys do it?" Now, as we gotten older, no one likes to FaceTime anymore. It's just you could call me or text me or just not talk to me at all.
I figure I'm gonna try to change my vantage because you're a little bit lower in your screen. So let me switch mine so we're about on the same level.
Oh yeah, it's just the chair is a little messed up right here.
Let's see. Yeah, that's a little better. I don't want it to seem like too off for the eyes. Believe it or not, from weird things like that do matter to some people. Like they'll be like, "Oh, I can't watch this because this is off," or or
Mhm.
this person's background it's too black, or it's too white, or it's too gray. So you know,
It's like
uh,
I'm not even watching just to look at your face. I want to hear what you're saying. That's the whole point of the podcast. But people really just pay
it's
attention
just
to just the surface. Like if
all
they
right. So let's see. I'm gonna try to see.
so you said movies.
Yeah,
So
these are this is a
movies in relation
whole
to
list. So
is this
it's a
movies
whole
in
list.
relation to the metaverse or things that just gave you theories about the metaverse?
Well, it's funny. Atra says, like, it's for tracking your family. Yeah,
Yep. Now look.
it is for tracking your family
Oh,
and tracking you now.
oh, now that
And
you
that's something.
mention it, when I was never so when I started driving, it wasn't anything of being tracked. I didn't. I was never given. I never had to give my location. It just called whenever I got there and let you know when I'm leaving. And
No, no,
like,
no. He's not talking about like he's not talking about
no, no, no.
your
He said
family
track.
that
If
they're
you're tracking
tracking.
your family. Like I'm about to. I'm making a point. Okay. So what I'm saying is that when I was 16, someone told my mom about Life 360. And it's basically, it lets you know when you stop. It lets you know how fast you go. It lets you know if you crash. It literally lets you know everything. And so what ended up happening was my mom put me on there and she would say, "Oh, I'm just making sure you're safe." And that's the same mantra as he said, it's for your family. But no, it's just like it's literally watching everything I'm doing.
So let me answer real quick. Yeah, Kelly, we haven't gotten into it yet, so you're good. You're good. We're still kind of warming up the show, laying the groundwork. Yeah, I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't really know about a lot of this technology.
Mm-hmm.
Whether from the parental end, giving it to my child, or being the child receiving it. So some of this stuff I have to lean on Jalen for him to even explain it to me, so I know what the heck is going on.
Seeing
Uh,
seeing the younger generation, definitely I would tell people that if my peers were having children, I would say just don't give your kid a phone, bro. Just don't give
Well,
your
you do know that a lot of these tech people who are behind working on the metaverse and on Facebook and Google and these things, they don't allow their kids to get on any of this technology.
No, they say it. No, my kids do not use it. It's addictive. Sometimes I can't. They can't even control themselves. They say it. Your phone is addictive. I just had to be home by dinner time, or the street lights, or call the house. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all depended on which age we're talking. For me, um, we had to be home before the streetlights came on. Now, at that time period in the '80s, they were snatching kids like crazy. The '80s had a lot of kidnapping kids. So, I mean, it's not talked about nearly that much, and because you didn't really have 24-hour news like we do now,
Hmm.
it doesn't seem quite the same. But like now, the thing is just everything is reported so much more, whereas a lot of shit was just not even talked about or reported at all. Um, yeah. So you asked, what were you asking about the my list here?
Yeah. So I was saying, is it in relation to the metaverse, or things that gave you an idea about the metaverse?
Um, let's see. Kelly says when I was little, they
They
didn't
didn't.
even fingerprint us. So I guess if we were abducted, we were gone. Exactly. They didn't fingerprint. They didn't fingerprint when I was a kid.
I
You
didn't
only
get.
got fingerprinted if you went to juvenile.
I didn't get
So,
fingerprinted. Even I didn't get
uh,
fingerprinted. I didn't get fingerprinted.
this list is movies that the reason why I call them predictive programming is well, I feel like there needs to be a better name. It's kind of a misnomer because it's making as if the movies are predicting it. In my opinion, the movies aren't predicting it. What they're doing is they are bracing us for what is coming.
Mm,
So
okay.
sometimes the movie will, or TV show in some of these cases, are to kind of give us an idea of what's coming down the road. Well, most of it is what's coming down the road, so that it can just mentally prime us for it or to accept it. Because if they just came out with some of this technology just right off the bat, a lot of people would be like, "Fuck that! I'm not cool on that." That's the reason why in some of these shows you'll wonder, like, well, why did they have this in this episode of The Simpsons, or why was this in Futurama, or why were they talking about this in Beavis and Butt, or whatever the show is. So I figure I will start with one that's. I'll give you one of the newest ones, and
Okay.
I'll jump back to one of the oldest ones on my list.
Okay.
Um, so that way you can see, like, they've been trying to do this for a while. I will start with the first one, Free Guy. Have you heard of Free Guy?
No, I'm not. Okay, so before we get into this, before we start, I'm not a movie guy. I'm much more of a show person. But I told myself this time around, like starting now, I'm gonna start watching more movies. I've watched 4 movies this week in my free time, so I'm really trying to get into movies.
Actually, I was wondering, did you say you were on your laptop?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then go down to the share screen because I'm going to have you bring these movies up on the screen so they can see what we're talking about a little bit and kind of go into more detail. So that way they can be able to say, oh, well, that movie there, okay, I'll see what you're talking about. So the first one I want you to bring up is Free Guy. Thomas says the only time I got fingerprinted was when I worked at a casino 6 years ago, and when I got arrested at a party when a fight broke out. LOL. I won't be comfy if big banks and government require fingerprinting. Well, myself, I've been fingerprinted, of course, in the military, and um, I've been fingerprinted. We'll just leave it at that. This first movie, Free Guy, it stars Ryan Reynolds. And Ryan Reynolds is actually a character inside of a video game. See, Kelly says science fiction is very predictive. I can't wait for Galaxy Quest. Never gave up, never surrender. Never give up, never surrender. So you're waiting for us to get to outer space. For those who don't know about Galaxy Quest is like, it's kind of like mocking Star Trek. And Science says, hey, all rustlers, Rhapsody is a great parody of Westerns. I'll have to check that out.
Is it sharing your screen?
Let's see. Oh, there it is. Sorry. All right. Their screen is up. So.
Okay, so what's the first movie?
Free Guy.
Free Guy?
Yes, Free Guy. I know it sounds weird.
Oh, this is
Free Guy.
Oh,
yes,
I remember. I watched this movie.
Oh, you've seen this movie?
Yes,
great,
yes.
great.
Okay, it made sense. The people were cheering on.
Oh no, let's go back and leave it up. That way they can see what we're talking about.
Okay.
Free Guy. This movie, Free Guy, is actually Ryan Reynolds plays a person literally in the game. Actually, can you go ahead and read the synopsis?
Yeah.
Let's see, like something remakes and reboots these days. And I do actually got a couple of reboots and remakes, reboots and like part twos and stuff on here. So yes, Kelly says I'm late as fuck, but good to catch a screen. Thank you for tuning in, L, my fabulous co-host from the Political Matrix. But don't worry, you haven't missed very much. We're just getting into talking about the metaverse stuff, so you got in just in time, even if you're late. We were running a little bit late ourselves. But the first one that we're talking about is Free Guy. I guess I'll go ahead and kind of try to
have the synopsis.
You got it? Okay. So read it off, everybody.
Okay. So when a bank teller discovers he's actually a background player in an open world video game, he decides to become the hero of his own story. One night he can rewrite himself. In a world where there's no limits, he's determined to save the day his way before it's too late, and maybe find a little romance with the coder who conceived him.
Exactly. So what when it talks about the coder who conceives him, he literally falls in love with one of the coders of the people who made the video game. And he wakes up to realizing, oh crap, I'm in a video game, and starts kind of going off script. You know how when you play a video game and there might be this person where you walk past them and they're like having a conversation on the phone, or like say Grand Theft Auto, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Because this kind of was like a movie about kind of like Grand Theft Auto in my eyes, because you have people who are, it's like this, it's called the people with the sunglasses. So everybody who had sunglasses in the movie were all sorry, that's a little distracting. All the people who have sunglasses are the actual people who are playing the game. All the people without glasses are actually the programs which are inside the game. And so you see him and he's talking to what is it? I can't remember his name is Lil Rel. When he's talking to Lil Rel, who's a funny comedian, they're both characters in the game. He works as the bank teller, and Rel works as the as a security. And his role in there is literally, okay, they're coming to rob the bank, drop my guns and walk back out. And so, drop my guns, lay on the ground, let them rob the bank. Just like how in Grand Theft Auto, you might be, okay, I need to make money. So you go in and you rob the different thing. You rob the bank, you rob people, whatever. Your character might be the character who gets robbed all the time,
I was just
or they
shooting people
steal
in
your
Grand
car
Theft
and things
Auto.
like that. And that's, some of that predictive programming showing, well, what it would be like to be a character inside of the metaverse. Uh, gonna do a spoiler probably here. Yes, I am going to bring up Black Mirror, but I'm not familiar with that episode. So,
See, Black Mirror is interesting too, not only because the metaverse, also just how it speaks to different aspects of just life. But she
actually, pull up that one, that Black Mirror playtest, because I'm not familiar with that one. So I figure if you
wait,
all have ones to add in, you know, um, then yeah, we'll definitely go and talk about it also. Let's see. Oh, it's funny. You put nothing turns me on more than JavaScript. Well, you got to be careful. You say things are scripted, and we have the crazy guy coming out.
what
These guys, they're all scripted. And
wait, what
somebody called
episode
they
is
called me a human typewriter the other day.
what episode is L referring to?
She said playtest.
Oh, playtest? Okay.
Yes, I'm not familiar with that. Let's
Season
read
three,
about that. That
episode
that
two.
sounds curious. I'm very interested in what playtest is all about.
Okay. I think I've seen this episode. All right, let's see what it says on Wikipedia. So, Playtest is the second episode in the third series of the British science fiction anthology television series Black Mirror. The episode follows Cooper, an American who playtests an upcoming augmented reality game in London while traveling. It is a horror game which accesses his brain and targets his fears.
Oh,
Hannah John Kamen co-stars as a video game journalist Cooper meets. The episode was inspired by an idea broker had for an augmented reality whack-a-mole game which increased speed until the subject went crazy. After considering Tokyo, the crew decided to shoot in London. A work of psychological horror, the episode features numerous video games references and many instances of foreshadowing. The episode received mixed critical reception with criticisms of the storyline ending, but praise given. But the rest of that is irrelevant.
okay, so that's another one that I know. Black Mirror, and I've been told Black Mirror has a lot of predictive programming and stuff referencing into VR. We've been able to return to the W franchise.
Oh,
I guess they're talking about Star Wars there, but
oh,
season three, L says, and I'll hold Kelly's comment here, and jump to it in a second because it is on my list and I'm going to bring it up. But since we're already talking about Black Mirror, I want you to pull up Black Mirror Striking Vipers.
oh, yeah. I remember the first time I watched that. My dad was telling me, um, about it. It's like Street Fighter.
Yes, the reason why this one is very interesting is because
Not
this is one which I feel they're trying to appeal to. Um, believe actually, I feel that's one which is trying to appeal directly to my
Marcus.
demographic.
Marcus. Somebody in the crowd said he looks like you.
I, that's not the first time I've heard that.
Okay,
Yes,
so
that's been
now
told.
break down the episode.
So what goes on is you have Anthony Mackie's character. Oh, he's married, happily married, and well, not completely happy. A lot of marriages get, some of them get a little stale. Um,
Wait. You have to tell the beginning.
oh well, I guess I was just going to give an overall. I actually didn't even watch the episode fully. I've just
Oh,
watched the breakdown.
if you
But
want, I can break it down. I watched the complete
go
episode.
for it. Go for it.
Okay, so it starts off as Anthony Mackie and Carl. Well, how do you pronounce his name? Hutton.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're best friends, and the movie or the episode starts off in the club. It's Anthony Mackie and his fiance at the time, or girlfriend, pretending to be role playing like they don't know each other to just spice up their relationship. So then his friend is another guy. He's just a bachelor, I guess, and they live together. So when they go home, they go and end up playing video games. But they have just some like weird type of attraction to each other. They kind of heat it up, but they don't give it all to you at once. But they kind of throw little jabs. They put a little seasoning on it. So I think 20 or so odd years passed. Anthony Mackie's married with kids, and I think his friend Carl Hutton is still a bachelor, sleeping with
Yeah.
younger women. So he buys him this new video game, which is the VR version of the game they were used to play on the console because time has sped up. So at
I,
first he doesn't
I
touch the
either
game.
title Striking Vipers.
Yeah, like Street. It's basically a play on Street Fighter.
Yes.
So as time goes by, he doesn't play the game initially. So his friend is on it all the time. So as soon as it looks like the Xbox setup. So as soon as he gets on, it notifies your friends that you're on, like it does on the game system. And so his friend calls him through the game and tells him, "All right, come on and go play." So when he goes in, he puts the gear on. His body kind of just drools out. So if you could just see, his body kind of goes like this, and he's inside the game, and he picks his character. They pick the location to fight, and he's in the game. Like he can feel the punch. He's actually throwing the punch. It's like he is the character. So they fight. His friend beats him up, and actually they make fun of it because in the past when they played on the console, he always beat him up. So he hasn't beat him up again, and they keep fighting. They keep fighting, and then randomly they just start looking at each other, and they start having sex. But his Anthony Mackie is a male character and Carl Hutton is a female character. But in the game, they're separate sexes. But they realize that when they get out of the game, they're having sex. So as soon as it gets weird, they click out of the. Well, I think I jumped ahead. Actually, it starts off with a kiss. Then they have sex the next time they play. But they're aware of everything that happened as soon as they log out of the game. So when they touch the chip, they come back to life and they're kind of just like, what happened? So as time goes on, they're sleeping with each other in the game, and it's affecting Anthony Mackie's marriage, and it's affecting Carl Hutton's sex life. And they're just going on the game and just have sex with each other. They're not even fighting. So
Yeah,
Marcus,
they're basically having almost a mental relationship with each other, a mental romantic relationship with each other. And that's
yes,
why I say some of the predictive programming, because with a lot of this VR stuff, you can go on and be whoever you want to be. If you want to be a blonde, say you're a black male, if you want to be a 5'2" white woman, you can be. You want to be and that's some of the stuff that's in the metaverse where you're going to be able to create your character to be whoever the hell you want to be. And that also, with them having that connection of some kind of an attraction or whatever in the VR world, it also ties back to like with the movie we talked about before with Free Guy, where in
mm-hmm.
Free Guy she's basically starting to have a relationship with a fictional character inside of, basically, for lack of better words, the metaverse.
The craziest part is, Marcus, is that for the audience, is that whenever, as time goes on and they're still sleeping with each other, he has thoughts of if they're actually gay, which leads to them in the rain having a cliche kiss scene to, oh, we need to kiss to see if we're gay. And then they kiss and then they're like, I'm not doing this. And they walk away. And I don't think they ever see each other again.
Yeah, LGBT vibe with straight guys pretending to be straight couple in a game. Yeah, it's doing a lot of what some people call gender bender type stuff, where it's throwing a lot of different weird things. I guess I don't want to say it's weird. Whoever each his own, but the metaverse is showing how you could separate from your sexuality, and I think that people who might want to move in and out of the closet it might provide them more of an avenue for that. I think it might be encouraging, yeah, kind of transhumanism, like you said right here. That's kind of what it's going into, a form of transhumanism. Yeah, oh yeah, the wife finds out about it too. But yeah, I don't want to dive too deep into it. Striking Vipers is on Netflix. I need to check out the show. No, it's Black Mirror. Is Black Mirror on Netflix?
Yes, Black Mirror's on Netflix.
Black Mirror is on Netflix. So Striking Vipers is the episode on there, which I guess I was like, once I kind of heard that, I was like, I don't even know if I really want to go down and watching that. I mean, it sounds a little too crazy for me. Um, but let me jump back up to what Kelly was talking about. We'll hop on to our next one because I got so many of them, so we don't want to go too long on each of
Oh,
these
wait,
topics.
Marcus, before you get into the next one, would you consider Wally?
Wally is on my list also.
Okay, cool.
So
Do you
yeah,
want to
we will bring up Wally too.
or do you want to bring that up later?
Oh, what was that?
I said, do you want to bring up Wally now or do you want to save it for later?
Um, we I guess since we brought it up, then we might as well go on into it and talk about it now. You would you like to break down Wally?
It's been a while since I've seen this, but I remember
Because
I
I figured some of these, if you like to break them down, some of the ones that you know of, then go on ahead because I know some of these you might not have ever seen. So I most of the rest of the stuff on this list I know I've seen. Um, I barely remember Wally. I just remember everybody was overweight,
hmm,
and they like
they
were at
had
the point where they were so overweight that people didn't walk
they,
anymore.
they
And
had the silver they had the
I think
silver
that
surfer things covering their face. And
oh they did. So they
they
were already showing that they were in the version of the metaverse.
yeah, they were eating and they were consuming a lot of food.
Yeah, and I think that that's going to lead to well, and if you stay mostly in the virtual world, you are going to just start gaining weight because you're not getting exercise anymore.
Kids,
Um,
kids younger than me, the obesity rate has to have risen. I don't know for sure, but they go outside way less than we ever did. Not even to say that we were out all the time, but
L says, "Is it gay if they're not real? That's the idea." Yeah, so that for those who might have some curious thoughts where they can say, "Oh, well, just if you're doing it in the game, that's not gay." If you're a person who's against homosexuality, that's a way
yeah.
to kind of
I don't know if
entice
you
you.
guys can see, but look, it's a fat guy and he has a screen right in front of him.
Oh no, can't see it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up on. I want to pull it up for everyone.
Oh yeah, on the free guy.
Let's see.
Let's see, Wally. He said the people actually have, and I think that this is also leading to what Congress has been talking about with UBI. Um, if they know a lot of people are going to be out of work, they're going to need to give you some form of income to keep people sitting at home and plugged into the new system or the metaverse.
Uh-oh.
It's funny the game is playing. I can see more people commenting than the amount of people that it's saying is watching.
That's so weird.
I see like probably I'm watching four or
Look,
five
here we
comments
go.
at a time while it's only showing two people in here.
Look, the guy on the left, the chubby dude on the
Oh
left.
wow, you are correct. They are showing whether even at this point they don't even necessarily need the goggles. It's
Yeah,
the fact that you have the screen in front of you
but
still.
this is in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
and I
And
remember
so
around that time, it was like a symbol of money if your parents had like TVs in the car.
yeah, that's alluding to it right there. Uh, yeah. Good. Make sure. Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna have to check out some more Black Mirror. A lot of people have told me a lot of different things about Black Mirror. Daniel Kaluuya had a very good episode. I'm trying to remember, is his episode the one like? Is Black Mirror the one where they wanted the prime minister to like have sex with a
Yes,
pig?
with a pig. Yes, that was one of the craziest thing on the
I
episode.
because I think when they put that on, I was like, okay, this is too much for me. This is a bridge too far for me, and I was like, yeah, okay. I don't think I got through the rest of that episode.
You know, so you didn't see the ending?
I don't think I couldn't keep going, man. It
Oh,
was
look,
grossing me out too much.
Marcus, now that we're talking about the metaverse, look, a review of we should check out this review. It says no ignorance is not bliss. A review of Wally. It seems like they're really focused in on the same picture I showed you, how they're stuck in the screen.
Hmm.
But it basically follows a robot that kind of lives in solitude.
Yes, I
So it
agree.
says,
Son.
Wally
He was
follows a
hilarious.
solitary robot on a future uninhabitable deserted Earth, left to clean up garbage. However, he is visited by a
Yep.
probe sent by the starship Axiom, a robot called Eve, with whom he falls in love with and pursues the galaxy.
Mhm. Yes, that was a sick episode. Grossed me out. Still grosses me out.
Oh, Marcus, actually, the ending is he had sex with the pig, but
Hmm.
they released the girl hours before he even did it.
You know what? I think maybe I did finish it.
And the guy ended up offing himself. Sorry if I spoiled it for anyone, but it seems like everyone in the crowd is a Black Mirror fan.
Yeah, I probably would have. I probably would have wanted to off myself after that too.
No, the prime minister didn't. The guy who kidnapped the girl did.
Oh, okay. Oh, did he tell him that he would kill himself if he did it or something?
No, he said that he would kill the girl, and he cut off his own finger to make it seem like he cut off the girl's finger, but he didn't harm her.
Mm,
He released her blindfolded on a bridge.
wow.
But the whole point of the episode was to notice how the people of the community were just so focused, well, the country rather, was so focused on the TV to see if he was really gonna have sex with a pig and not even try to look for the girl.
Yes, I do remember that part.
So it was
Um.
basically saying like, look how sucked in they are. They're not even paying attention. You think
Mm,
you're paying attention, but you're not paying attention at all. You're paying
mm,
attention to
mm,
the rules.
um. Let's see. Yeah, got that. And I guess since Wally kind of brought up the fact of the people, you know, being basically stuck more and more into that world, I
It's
figured
just
that
like
can go on. That can probably tie into what the one which Kelly brought up earlier. She brought
okay.
up Ready Player One.
Ready.
There's no more metaverse movie than Ready Player One.
Oh, I've seen Ready Player One as well.
Ready Player One literally is giving you what the elites believe the future is going to be like. That we're all going to be piled on top of each other in extremely overcrowded, cities, and our only true real escape is to have a life inside of the metaverse. That's kind of what the elites want anyway. This is kind of one of the things where they were just kind of in a lot of these newer movies, they've gotten more. It's not hitting. The agenda's not hitting as much anymore. And that's why it goes back to that statement which Klaus Schwab said, where he said, "You're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy." You know, that kid didn't really own nothing. The only thing that he had going for it was what goes on inside of that version of the metaverse.
It's funny. That's a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah, yeah. I'm be careful. I won't say anything about Steven Spielberg this time. I'll let it slide. Elle said that actually came true with the pig.
That actually happened?
That's what she said.
Oh wow! Is there any link, any reference?
She said, check out she put a link in. you see the chat?
No, my phone. Oh, okay. I'm going on the live chat on my phone. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I can't click on it. But Black Mirror episode that imagined David Cameron's alliance with the pig. Oh,
Oh, I can pull up the. Do you want to pull up the article? Do you want to pull up the article for the picture?
I don't know. I might be scared to look at
No, no,
that.
no, no, no. I promise. I promise.
But sure, go ahead and pull it up.
Okay. All right.
What? Sign says, according to The Simpsons, Clinton also slept with the pigs back in the day.
Oh wow.
Wow. I mean, who did man? The Simpsons. If 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 you go back and look at a lot of stuff that was going on in The Simpsons, you have to know that they know a lot more than they're letting on, or else they're completely involved with some kind of. They're involved with people who know what the hell is going on because they're not just accidentally. They're not predicting the future. If you believe they're predicting the future, then you're not very bright. They're telling you what to expect because they have a part in making it happen. Or people have already told them that this is going to happen because they're going to make it happen. Let's see, now about your comment. Pigs. Or Crispin Glover for more on Steven Spielberg. Yeah, that's right. Elle did mention before, looking at Crispin Glover, that he said a lot of stuff. For those who don't know who Crispin Glover is, Crispin Glover, he's actually a very, very talented actor. I used to only know him for Back to the Future, playing McFly or Marty McFly's father. He did have that little role in Charlie's Angels, which was a terrible movie overall. I don't hold that against Crispin. Um, but what is it? What is that movie? American Gods does a fabulous job on that show. I do recommend that you all check that show out if you're not familiar with it, especially any theologian types out there. Yep, we gotta get caught up. Kelly's jumping ahead.
Marcus, have
Kelly's
you
jumping ahead on everything on my list.
ever? Okay, what's
Well,
what's the other movie?
she brought up the movie Gamer. Are you familiar with the movie Gamer?
No, I'm not. But
Gamer is a movie by Gerard Butler. He's the star of it, and he is actually the character which the kid is playing. So in that
funny, these movies
metaverse,
are all sci-fi movies.
exactly, science fiction is what they call it, and that's the reason why they put these movies in there. And he's literally controlling this man inside the metaverse.
Yeah, it's an
Now,
adventurous form of high-tech slavery.
yes, it is. I mean, it's because the way his character, Gerard Butler, inside of the machine, that version, it's as if he is being controlled, and the kid, he's like, "Kid, you're gonna get me killed. Stop doing this, or stop doing that, or let me do this." And so
Oh,
he is basically being controlled, sometimes against his will, to do things in the game.
oh, Marcus,
hmm
was Jumanji on your list?
Jumanji is on my list. Yes, it
I
is.
actually went and saw the one with Kevin Hart and The Rock with my friends.
Yes, the
In high
original
school.
Jumanji is not, but the second one, they all get sucked into a video game, and they all live out. They all play the game through
You
their
can die,
avatar
but you
version.
always come back.
Well, they come back. Was it 3 times?
Yeah, you get 3 lives.
But
Just
on that third time, they die in real life.
mm-hmm.
So that's another version of it. I mean, Gamer was. I mean, I felt kind of weird watching the movie because it was so when you realize, oh, this is a character who's not really, he's being controlled by somebody on the outside, but he has his own thoughts, ideas, his own mindset towards what's going on. And they end up coming to a symbiotic type relationship to follow what he was trying to say. Hey, I got this. And if you let me do this way, then we'll be good. But Gerard Butler's character, he's a character inside the game, was not thrilled with being controlled, basically. I'm
Mhm.
pretty sure I probably need to go back and rewatch that movie. But this is another movie where I say that they are trying to allude to, the metaverse and predictive programming. And it could even be a scenario where this kind of reminds me of, it kind of ties to surrogates. I don't know if you're familiar with the movie Surrogates. Let me see what the chat's, because my chat is on top of it tonight. Yes, Kelly is well versed. She does her homework. I dropped my pen. But then it missed. Yes. So Kelly, did you? Oh yeah, surrogates. For those who are not familiar with surrogates, because I guess I'm gonna try to speed it up a little bit. Um, and I advise you all to check out all these movies and watch them. I mean, Hollywood gives us these complex storylines and makes us fall in love with characters, or you know make us love the action scenes and all that. But all of this is programming, and it's softening your mind to getting prepared for metaverse, or possibly using the metaverse, because then you can think, oh well, cool, I can go inside the metaverse and I can have a character like Gerard Butler in Gamer. But we'll hop over on to surrogates.
Oh,
Kelly said, check out Vice with Bruce Willis. That's another good movie.
oh,
But
Marcus, it
yeah,
seems like on the stream, I'm watching it from my phone. Everything on my screen is delayed.
it's going to be delayed on your phone from us because we're live.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah, but uh, surrogates. For those who don't know, in the movie Surrogates, people no longer go outside and live. So anything that they do in the real world, they have a AI version. They have like basically an actual robotic version of them that goes out into the world. In this movie, Bruce Willis, he's a cop. Um, and like you see that image there on the right, where he has like the little goggles on.
Mm-hmm.
His consciousness goes into this cyborg type machine. Now, if you see, he's kind of bald there, a little scruffy. Well, the version of him where you see him with the blonde hair and he looks almost like plastic like, that's him. Actually, that's his surrogate self that's walking around and doing everything. And so, in that reality, everybody has a surrogate version of them. So, none of us actually even see each other anymore. We get to the point that only the surrogates meet the surrogates, and we pretty much stay confined to our own homes. Except maybe your husband and wife and kids. And so in this version, like his wife has gotten so, I guess self conscious that she doesn't even come out of the house anymore. She doesn't even show him herself anymore. She still talks to her own husband through the surrogate.
But Marcus, sorry to interrupt, but that's
Mhm.
interesting because that plays a part now. Instagram, it plays a part in the self-esteem. They don't want to go out. Everybody feels so ugly. And that's another thing. If you're already softening your mind, if they're already softening your mind to this, and maybe you feel insecure because you didn't get likes on an Instagram post, now you're in.
Mm-hmm.
You already got
Yeah,
a
well, that's coming eventually. Let's
Mhm.
face it, Elysium is where we're headed when the predatory class gets their way. That's the reason why you have all of these people trying to worry about space and things like that. And what they plan on doing is they'll probably have some kind of space station out in the clouds, just like Elysium, where they will start building their fake version of the world.
Hmm.
And so that's their goal to go to. And I mean, a lot of these things are that they do in these movies sometimes are just allegorical. You know, I don't think that they're ever going to get it to a point that we're going to have robots walking robot versions of us, because then that's just going to lead to more crowding, because there's already in their mind too many of us, and so they're not going to make, I don't believe, each one of us to have a surrogate version. Now maybe the wealthy might, maybe even to, you know, important speeches and stuff like that, to avoid the possibility of assassinations and stuff, but I don't think it's going to get to the point where every person has their own surrogate. But what we see with a lot of these AI technology, they are pushing for things like that. Let's see. What should I jump to next one? Hold on, let me grab my pen.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah, go ahead.
3 of the movies you named came out in the same year.
Yeah, they're pushing a lot of this stuff.
And this was
Very
this was at the change of the decade when social media really took a turn.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and that's it. We talked about Jumanji. We talked about Gamer. Um, let's see. This one we talk about a whole lot. Since it was brought up earlier, I guess we'll bring this one up again. Minority Report. It's not, it's, I'll explain why I would put it in this group, even though it's technically not a metaverse type. Um, I wouldn't really quite classify it as a metaverse. Uh, Metropolis and a futuristic city, sharp divided between working class and the city planners. Yes. Yeah. But yes, he uses a lot of the technology, and though he's not going into the actual machine, this is just more high tech versions of computers. But what happens is the way the ads and things like that, if you notice it, it gets to the point because of the retinal scan, which it does, it customizes all of your commercials and advertisements directly to you. Say, for instance, Jalen, we're walking down the street together. We're both looking at the same ad, but we
Mhm.
both hear it talking directly to me and directly to you.
Yeah.
Not saying, "Hey guys, check this out." It's literally saying, "Hey Jalen, you should check out this product that we have for you." And say it might be say, I don't know, a new song, because they've already got enough data on you to know what type of music you like.
Mhm.
Yours might be music. Mine might be saying, okay, well, I know that you would really like this new movie, and so we're going to be getting.
That's how they do it now.
But the technology just goes to like an insane level in that. Yeah. Have you seen Minority Report?
No, I have not.
You definitely need to, because it talks about pre-crime.
Pre-crime?
Pre-crime. Now,
Can you get into that?
in this, what pre-crime is, what it goes to is they actually have three twins. I mean triplets, and the triplets together, they are psychic and they're able to predict who's going to commit a crime, and they will etch the name of the person onto a ball. Well, a machine does that, but it takes their their thoughts, imprints it, and literally shows what they're thinking. Actually, I didn't even think about it. It is more metaverse than I thought. It does show the triplets what they're thinking visually. So when they see the murder, it shows, the cop, which uh, Tom Cruise's character, John Anderton, he's able to see it, and then they can decide, okay, this is going to happen next Tuesday at 2 a.m., and go and hop right in minutes before the murder, catch the person in the act, and then arrest them and charge them for pre-crime. So when it starts off with them getting a red ball, and a red ball means a murder. This guy's wife is cheating on him, and he walks back into the house right after the man who she's cheating with kind of sneaks in, because he had left his glasses allegedly. Well, he goes back and he picks up a pair of scissors and proceeds to kill his wife with the scissors and kill the man.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah. Well, since they know that that's what's going to happen, they literally jump right in the nick of time, stop him from killing them, and then arrest him for the attempted murder.
Hold on 1 second.
Hmm.
Oh, you can. It's still sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. I'm still listening.
Said put humans in again so Marcus sees it. Gemma Chan stars as a robot servant and she becomes sentient. Yeah, I haven't seen Humans, so I'm not familiar with that. Plus, I think Humans is TV show, so we're trying to stay to movies because it'll get too long if we go into all the different TV shows.
I'm sorry. I keep getting text alerts, so I don't want it to pop up.
It's all right. No, you're fine. The
Yeah, I
killing.
don't want it.
I got a little behind on the chat. However, 3 people can have. Okay, let me catch up. Minority Report. The Gap was trying to sell Tom Cruise under. Yes, they were trying to sell him underwear because after they read his eye, they were able to tell exactly who it was, and that's what's coming with us. Like for instance, the crazy guy who he said that because I moved my jaw in some kind of weird way, which FYI to people out there who don't know, since somebody's been staring that much at my jaw, my jaw does move funny. Because here, I don't know if you can hear it or not. Tell me.
I can't really hear it.
Well, I don't know. I'll do a video or something where you guys can hear it. I broke this bone in my jaw.
Ooh, how'd you do that?
I got kneed in the mouth actually.
Football?
No, wrestling.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was when I was in high school. Got that bone broken there. So from now on, my jaw clicks when I eat.
Oh,
Yeah. So.
Can I pull up the next movie? I'm sure everybody is waiting for.
Oh yeah. What I was going to say is the guy said that I had some kind of condition.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And that condition, when I looked it up, now my Facebook is trying to sell me the medication for that condition that I looked up.
Look, I watched I accidentally clicked on a video speaking about Drake and Kanye, and it was an accident. I quickly exited. I wasn't even trying to go on YouTube. And later on, I went on YouTube. I love Tokyo Shemp. His voice is gorgeous. I do not know who that is.
That's the guy. I'll send you the video where he's made 2 videos about me. One of them he calls me a human typewriter.
Oh, that's the guy who was hating on you?
Yeah, who says everything that we're saying is scripted and all this stuff.
I wish I had a script. I'm like Jay-Z.
Yeah,
I'm like Jay-Z. I don't write.
You said it'd be easier if you had a script?
What? I'm like Jay-Z. I don't write,
I do all this stuff off the fly. So I actually should probably take it as a compliment if the guy thinks that I do it fluently enough that it seems like I'm a typewriter, or if he literally believes that this ring light that I have is a teleprompter, and I'm that talented to be able to look like I'm talking to you and read at the same time.
Or that
I'm
you
like,
just
you realize I'm wearing glasses. Once I take these glasses off, I'm a little. I can't read any of the comments right now, and so I would have to be. I don't know how that would work unless you know what. Maybe he's right. Maybe it's in my glasses. Maybe I have some kind of special Google glasses that are like giving me the teleprompter in the lenses.
Have you ever heard of Ned's Declassified?
No.
So it's this show that came on when I was in elementary school around that time. And it was called Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Exactly. Tell him out. So it's called Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. So basically, this kid, he has a journal and he's with his friends. They're the main characters. And each episode is like a piece in the journal, how to survive middle school. It's a typical TV middle school, but as kids, we thought that's how middle school was going to be. Marcus and company goes against the flow and wings it, literally.
Yeah, we went. I mean, just a little bit of behind the scenes, as they say, how the sausage is made. That's the reason why sometimes we're late coming in here. We're still trying to figure out what the. I'm still trying to send this out, and look, if I was scripting something, why would I write notes? I write notes so I can remember instead of scripting anything. I mean, like another thing this guy doesn't realize is, like, for instance, if you guys are in, for those who are in the political matrix DM, you guys will see L is in there every day in, day out, on different COVID stories, on this, on lockdowns, on that, on that. So when she's talking about this stuff, it's because she researches this stuff. She talks about it on a regular basis. We talk about the stuff which we talk about and we're looking into all the time. It's not just like somebody handed us some kind of script. Elle talks about this stuff in detail like that because she knows this stuff in
And
detail.
not only that, you can feel the emotion in the tone and the voice. It doesn't sound like it's, hi, this is what happened yesterday on the episode of.
I tell people, look at my first episode. It's on this channel. Look at my first episode and tell me if you think that's scripted. I'm like, hello, my name is Marcus Cage. We're gonna talk about this. Thank you for joining me on better. You could tell that is not scripted. I mean, you could tell I was nervous. I did not know exactly what I was going to talk about, and it was an upload, not even a live stream. So you got to think, how many of those did I already do that were so bad that was the best one? This time I've been like, hello, my name is Marcus. Hello, this is the and I would get tongue tied and stuff like that. Welcome to the well, it was before I had multiple different shows, but no, it takes a while for you to just get comfortable on screen. And also I had to get in the mindset of you're talk to the camera just like you would have a conversation with somebody. The guy, that's something that Tokyo Shimp says, that people don't move their head in conversations. And I'm like, who the fuck do you talk to?
That's what I'm saying. There's a hand movements. There's people, especially if they talk with emotion. Joe Rogan's first podcast episode is so cringe, so fun though.
That's what I'm saying. We get better over time doing this and get more comfortable over time. I mean, I've been doing my own shows for about 2 years now, and I have been going on other people's channels going on like 3 years now. So after you've done it for about 3 years, yeah, you should get a little bit more comfortable at doing it. I mean, some people still act like their first show is, they still look like their first show, some of these people, but you can tell the people who have been doing this a while, and I'm not talking about the Jimmy Doors, where there might be some teleprompter action on some of those shows. I don't put it past them, but who is gonna pay us to do teleprompter when we don't even, like, we get if we get, I mean, my highest video on this channel has been like 200 views past one of the first ones before they start shadow banning me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're fighting not to get shadow banned. We're not even worried about trying to get some money.
Believe it or not, my highest video on this channel. Wow, we're getting so far off track. But anyway, my highest one on this channel is over 11,000. If you check out that video, I am so cringe in that video. My highest viewed one is cringe as hell.
I think I've seen videos. You're like, hi, so this is what's going on, and
yeah, I'm so monotone. I'm so low energy. Yeah, trial and error is how you learn. Yes, you get better with practice.
So you want to jump?
Anyone throwing shade about being scripted is just projecting. I think that guy is projecting. Elle says she likes his voice, so I'm gonna try to do an impersonation of it. He's like, you can tell this guy, Marcus Cage, or that's the name that they say that they've given him. I think he might be either part of DARPA or he's probably an agent, maybe with the State Department or something. You can tell by his posture that he's either military or he's former military. You know, with these guys like this, you have to really watch them. And this one right here, she goes by the name of Elle Latham. She has an IMDb page. You know, you see her here in this video with Jimmy Dore, and I'm pretty sure that she's the executive producer behind all these shows. Oh, Elle, tell me, was I close with this guy's voice? I mean, he sings a lot of songs so out of key. But
At least he didn't diss the Talk of the Ages.
yet, well, see, the thing about it is, he talks about us from Franco's show. Like, I went on his show, like, kind of trolling him. I mean, on his in his chat trolling him, and he didn't even realize it was me. That was, I mean, it literally has my face in there. It's the show page, and he couldn't. He didn't even do the due diligence to just click on it, and it would have took him straight to the political matrix. That's the kind of intelligence we're dealing with. He said that I'm anonymous when
You're
I'm
very
probably one of the easiest people to get a hold of
reachable.
of any content creators. I'm one of the easiest to get a hold of, and I mean, plenty of people who have listened to my channel, I've given out my number to personally and had hours long conversations. So it's so funny. I just think I think he's funny. I get a good laugh out of it.
So you want to hop back into movies?
Yeah, let's hop back on it.
So
Let's
I'm sure
go.
everybody was anticipating this one.
What you got? What you got?
About to share the screen now. It's not even going to be a surprise. I'm sure you already know this without giving it away.
Let's see. Let's see what you got. I mean, I got a lot of stuff on my list.
All right.
In fact, I wonder in the chat, what are you gonna say? The Matrix?
Yeah.
I figured you'd say the Matrix.
Here, can you see it on my screen?
Oh, hold on. Let me add it. Yes, the Matrix.
This is a fan favorite.
It is a fan favorite. I feel it, though it is a metaverse, um, though it is a metaverse type, and I do feel it falls into predictive programming. They are doing there's a lot going on with this movie. There's so many messages that are being put in. This is such a complex, you know, film to break down. Which I broke it down before, but I'm gonna do it again because the audio was like had bad audio on it, so I'm going to be redoing it. But this one is literally, I think, a far out advanced version of what some of this metaverse stuff is leading to in a dark kind of way. Um, there are going to be people who are not want to be plugged in. There are going to be the masses of us who are plugged in so much to the point where they're always plugged in, and the elites are going to be outside of the system, controlling the system, and that's what's going on with the Matrix. I mean, we could go so deep on Matrix, but I'm gonna leave it at that because I got a whole nother breakdown just for the Matrix alone. Well, all three of the movies. So yeah, but I won't go too deep into that one because there's so much meat on that bone. Um,
Mm,
let's see what. can I throw at you that you're not ready for? Actually, I'm gonna see this one you might know of, unless you might have played the video game
Hmm.
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yes, my dad played this game all the time.
Yes. I don't know if you guys saw it from the cover. The movie Assassin's Creed. It's literally showing you the next level of some of the VR technology. You look at the movie version. They have him. I'm not sure if they have him in actual goggles or anything, but he literally has a harness on. Um, yeah, I think it's like the Obis or Omnis or something like that that he wears. It's an actual rig that he has on, so where he's literally running and things like that inside. Uh, he's able to run inside of that virtual space, physically run. You know, while his consciousness is being transferred into, the into that virtual reality. Let's see, what that say? Hell, I don't want you to spoil anything. Yeah, I'll let them have your conversation there. But in this one, that's going to be some of the technology which they're going to allude to, because I think that they're realizing that if we go the way of Wally and everybody starts getting overweight, people out of their own health concerns will
Yes,
start
sir.
pushing away from it and start rejecting it. And so they're going to need to have a version of it. Hey, hey, Misha's in the house. They're going to need to have a version of it where you're physically feel like you're doing something, able to be active. See if you can pull up the more pictures of Assassin's Creed. That way, see, I want to see if they have one where with a rig that he actually has on, because then you can see where, like, he's actually doing the running and jumping and all of those things in there. Um, on the thumbnail to the video, you guys will be able to see it if you look really closely on there. But
Is this it
um,
right here?
uh, that's one of them. Yeah, that's, well. It's like you'll see like a band kind of around his waist. Oh, wait a minute. Go to the one where it looks like he's shooting the arrow. That one. Can you see that that's hanging off of his waist?
Yeah.
That cord is wrapped around his waist and it picks him up, so he's literally running in the air and able to jump and do things like that.
Oh,
So
like it's in the video game.
yeah, just like in the game where he's
Mm,
running across the rooftops and he's diving across different things and jumping off of buildings. They're
mm,
able to mimic that by him actually physically ducking, moving, fighting, physically in that room. And that's kind of what they have with I guess what I could think of best, like the Wii controllers, where you'd have those in their hand and it mimics what your hands are actually doing in your movements. And so
mhm.
that's some of the VR technology that's going to move on even more to add to that metaverse. So you are physically moving in that reality to give you more of a sense of realness. Because I imagine that they'll start getting to the point where it will have sensors, like some kind of vest or something that you could put on, just like you had back to Ready Player One. Remember when he bought like those special gloves and, like, a special jacket and all that stuff like that? When he bought all of those things, it allowed him to be even more effective inside of the virtual world. And so that's some of the stuff that they're going to push on and lean on. Um, let's see. That was now some of these other ones. I'm gonna start getting to some deeper waters you might not know about. Actually, let me stay with a couple more that I know you should know about. Tron. Let's go with Tron Legacy. We could go with both of them. Sure. Yeah, we'll go two.
Oh, and then check out the other one.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, either Sunday or I'm actually for Hebrew apologetics might be doing it Saturday. But yeah, for you're talking about for another one for Talk
Yeah,
of the Ages Sunday.
yeah, yes.
Okay, yeah. We can do that. Sorry,
Okay.
we're having a we're having an inside conversation. But
We're trying to
yeah,
bring uh
Tron. This is
Tron
Tron
Legacy.
Legacy right here. For those who are not familiar with Tron Legacy, in the first Tron, he builds the game and he goes inside the game, and then once he's inside the game, he starts creating a reality or a world inside the game. Hey, we got Mona in the house. But he creates a reality inside of the game. And what you see in the second version is in the second version, the whole actual world and reality is established. Like you have bars and you have a nightlife and you have the programs outside of when they're, doing their cycle races and all the various games that are within Tron. So it gets more and more detailed. The world of Tron. Um, you see that part where he's in the car and stuff like that and riding around. A lot of those things they didn't even have in the first one. And you start having new characters like Clue, and it gets more and more deeper. But the whole point of that is the
Let's look at
more
the
stuff that they
appropriate
can
too.
expand the story, you stop looking at the VR. You stop looking at it as about VR. You stop looking at the metaverse part of it, and it attracts you more into a story and the cool graphics and the cool outfits and the
Is this
cool
the
cycle
original?
life. That's the original, yes.
It looks more
Yeah,
cartoony.
yeah. I mean the graphics weren't as good. I want to say it was what it was definitely the 80s at
82,
best.
82.
Yeah, I mean I remember watching it as a kid. I was blown away back then, but you got to remember that the technology wasn't that great. Um, Kelly says, so do the Hunger Games and Divergent series qualify for the metaverse?
I wouldn't.
I would say not exactly,
I wouldn't.
um,
I
be-
wouldn't say
because
it fits
that's a
in there.
real,
That was like a real life example.
yeah, that's when that would be at the extreme version when they start merging tech and reality, and it starts to get harder to tell the difference between the two. Um, so well, for Hunger Games, Divergent, I would say is just that would be more of a dystopian future. So that would fit kind of sort of into a different category, but you know, all of those things are alluding you to different realities that will factor in because you already know that even inside of this virtual world, there's going to be hierarchies and there's going to be, you know, a bifurcated society. It's not going to be everybody's just all one and universal and that's we all know that's not going to happen because right now you already have people who are buying up land inside of the metaverse. That means that they're going to be the big shots there and dictate a lot of terms of what goes on inside of there and have more sway and more power. And you're going to have people who are getting into the last minute who are not going to have nearly as much power. So you're going to have those differences. Cabin in the wood, cabin in the wood. Uh, yes, technically that would fit in there. That's that's a simulation more or less. I guess anything which you can say a simulation kind of is alluding to things on the metaverse. But I guess maybe I was looking more focused at ones or weekend where you actually have to be plugged in mentally to it more so than them creating a reality around you because that's kind of like what they did with Cabin in the Woods and Hunger Games. They create a fake reality around you, kind of like Truman Show. Truman Show is not really any technology besides the cameras that are hit everywhere, but it's still putting you into an alternate universe, an alternate world. So I can see the simulation to putting those in that same category. maybe Elon is right. We're all living in a simulation. Well, I do believe to a degree that's true even before the technology is involved. I mean, if you're a person like me who believes in a higher power, and I believe the higher power already picked the end before. I mean, I already had the end planned before the beginning began. So technically, you are running through his simulation already. So I would already agree with that theory. Although he probably sees it through a different version. Hell says Elon Musk, human or AI. At this point, I think AI, as in some of these people, I believe already have technological advances in different ways. They might already be using robotics. I mean, for all we know, he could have had a really bad back years ago, and he's already had a chip put in his back, to kind of counteract that. We already know that in Asia, there's been so much work, like brought up earlier today, with Elysium, where machines attached to the body to be able to deal with, disabilities or injuries that you have to be able to help sustain you. Whereas I've seen stuff 10 years ago or so where they were working on technology to take people who were in wheelchairs and make them be able to walk. So, all of that all fits in. Did anyone see South Park episodes where Stan got stuck in Facebook virtual reality? That is possible. I mean, I didn't see it, but that's where all of this stuff is alluding to, getting to soften us up to what is coming. Mona says, "LOL, smarter people than Elon have theorized that." LOL, I hate Elon. Yeah, I don't think Elon. See, how I see people like Elon is they've been chosen by certain higher ups to put agendas in motion, and they've gotten fabulously wealthy by putting these agendas in motion and being the front person for these agendas. Now, so I don't necessarily say that these guys are like some kind of mental titans who are pushing anything forward. They're just pushing the agenda of the elites. Look in the brain. Look into the trailer of Brainstorm from the '80s. I guess Jay, pull up Brainstorm. I'm not familiar with that one. So you're old when the kick-ass graphics and special effects you grew up with are now called crappy. Yes, 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 yes. You're so true. I mean, I remember when I thought Star Wars was very impressive. Mona says it's more like the Matrix or multiverse theory. You've heard of Mandela effect. Yes, I have heard of the Mandela effect. A lot of this stuff is going on, definitely with the Mandela effect. Um, Man, I should have Elle come on it. Elle's gonna have to explain this one for me. I'm not familiar with Brainstorm. Or if you can find the trailer for it, Jay, and play that. Kelly says, if we are living in a simulation, I am pissed at the program for giving me back problems. Oh, I mean, probably be pissed at a lot of people because, yeah, a lot of things are going on. Yes, Elle did talk about the Mandela effect on the political matrix, but it seems like we probably need to go more into it because so many. I think actually Elle talked about it, but I think Emmanuel brought it up, or if I'm remembering correctly, I hope I am. Kelly, there are people that believe you can hack the simulation and change things. That goes into movies like The 13th Floor, which, oh, that was the one which I couldn't remember to put down on my list, which I will hold off. You able to find it, Jay? Yeah, I need to check out Brainstorm too, Misha. Same Monopoly guy is good.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Suppose it were possible to transfer from one mind to another. The experience of another person. Hey, there it is. Any person, any experience. I'm telling you, it works.
Test, sound, taste?
Everything, 100%. In fact, better. Did you have a breakthrough or not? Yes. I'd like a demonstration. Knock my socks off. What about military application? Wide open. Missile guidance, that kind of thing? They're going to be able to plug right into the old noodle. I made that for you.
What is it?
It's me. You've blown communication as we've known it right out of the water. You know that, don't you? So something happened to me. It was more than just a sexual fantasy. It was a feeling I had. I'm more than I was, Mike. I'm scared. But the thing is, I like it. I want more. No, I can't authorize this. It's a chance to think scientifically. The scariest thing a person ever has to face. This is not the research we're interested in.
This is my project. I don't want to see it end up on some defense scrap heap before we know what it's really about.
I want these personal experiments stopped. I told you I want to play it out. Nobody plays that tape. Arrested.
Lying to us.
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. And Mona asked, have I heard of the Mandela Bible effect? No, I have not. So that's something I guess I'll have to do some research on and figure out. I guess I'll probably have to check that out later on tonight. Misha, love the idea about movie night. I think that would be great because there's so many movies which I think like, man, people need to see this. They need to see this. And if I just did a movie night, that's not a bad idea. I know Propaganda does it every now and then, and so he does some. It's pretty interesting. Some of the movies which he pulls up, I mean, blows my mind. So that's something I'm definitely gonna have to keep in mind. And Christopher Walken, I don't think I've seen anything he's done which I don't think he's amazing at. Um, I'm looking with message. Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely message me on there. And I'll check it. I know I've been a little bit slack on Discord lately. It's just been the hours at work and stuff like that. Been hard to keep up, but I will definitely be getting myself back into Discord more often. They have a Mandela effect about the human body and changes to certain bones. Um, let's see. Since we were already talking about that brainstorm, I'm trying to remember what do I have because that reminded me of something else that was on my list. Aha! Strange Days. Who in the chat is? Damn! Are you reading my mind, Kelly? Says, has anyone seen the movie Strange Days with Juliette Lewis, Angela Bassett? Yes, Strange Days is a movie that blew my mind years ago. For those who are not familiar with what goes on in there are these brain these things which you're able to put on top of your skull, and it actually connects into the different neural passages in your brain, and it starts recording.
Oh, Marcus, sorry to
Whatever
cut
you're
you
doing.
off, but
Yeah,
just in case, YouTube, we do not own the rights to these videos.
yeah, it's just a trailer. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
they'll
we
copyright
popcorn in
you.
the
They'll
metaverse. I'm
copyright
on board.
anything.
But I don't think for playing a trailer we will.
I
I
don't know.
think we might be okay with a trailer.
I've
You
seen.
know, fingers crossed.
Let's see.
But let's see. Strange Days.
You said it
And,
blew your
and
mind.
I want to see. Actually, pause it before it gets going.
Okay.
Besides Kelly, I want to know who else is familiar with Strange Days.
I've never heard of it.
I know you hadn't heard of it.
You're giving me movies to go back and watch after the podcast is over.
Yes. Yeah, that way. Because I got a couple more. Let's see how much more I got on my list. One, two. Let's see. Talked about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got about 9 more on my list, and I had 2 honorable mentions. So I got some stuff on there. Anybody else heard of Strange Days besides Kelly and me? Because that's one of the ones which I actually put on the I put in the thumbnail for the show.
Oh
So
wow.
Strange Days is a great holiday movie since it takes place around New Year's Eve. Yes, it does. I'm trying to remember what's that one actor who plays it's the guy who plays in The Crow. He plays the main villain in The Crow. And man, I can't remember the bald guy. I've seen him in so many movies, but I can't remember the name right now. Can't find it, but there was a show on HBO where the doorway was open into alternate reality dimension. Anyway, I don't remember that. I wonder if a YouTuber is allowed to live stream a free movie from a free movie site. Maybe if it's from a free. I don't know. Depends, because it depends. Actually, what I might do is, for those who, I'm pretty sure I can do it on Discord. So I'll probably do that on Discord. And if they take it down off YouTube, or I get a copyright strike, at least copyright strikes are not like we take down your channel. It's like, hey, naughty, 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 don't do that. We're going to take this video down. That's about it. But since I don't see anybody else who's familiar with it, let's see. Oh, Sign says I love Strange Days. Brainstorm type of tech, also a Minority Report. Okay, sounds like CERN. Yeah, we'll get into CERN also one of these days. But going ahead and click play on Strange Days.
Have you ever jacked in? Have you ever wire tripped? You ready? This is not like TV, only better. This is life. It's a piece of somebody's life. It's about the stuff that you can't have, right? The forbidden fruit, straight from the cerebral cortex. I mean, you're there, you're doing it, you're feeling it. You beginning to see the possibilities here? I am your main connection to the switchboard of the soul. I'm the magic man.
This got something to do with the water. Sooner or later, it washes up on your beach.
Fan mail from some flounder?
The dark end of the street. How do you like it now?
Who records it all? Everything.
And gives it to you.
Why me? There's more to this whole thing than you think. Give us the tape right now!
Okay, that's good, Jim.
Thing goes.
But yeah, I guess we'll just play a little bit of it because I don't want them to, even though it's just a trailer, I don't even want them to trip off of that. But what did you get from that right there, Jalen? From what you saw?
It seemed a little crazy. Like the guy was in a full body sweat, his body coming out of his mind. It kind of reminded me of the the episode of Black Mirror when they're in the video game, how their body kind of just goes, but they have the piece connected to the head. It seems like it's all the same central theme. They just have different ways of going about it.
Interesting tie, because think about it. That movie came out the same year as The Matrix, believe it or not.
Yeah, 1999.
Now, remember what Neo was selling people in The Matrix?
Yes.
He was selling people memories and thoughts and, stuff like that, experiences. The same thing which those people were going through and using in that movie. And what it was is like these people will wear that little that brain cap. I think that's what they call it, a brain cap. And they would go out and do things. And so it records your experiences. And then they would sell that to other people. And so no matter, like, sometimes it was stuff where it was just kind of, okay, you're, like somebody alluded to, Skinamax type stuff. Some of that, some of it was drug use. Some of it was all kind of stuff. Sometimes it got a little darker into like people were committing murders, and you were able to like literally watch the murders and stuff happen. And so that's some of the stuff that was going on with that. And it adds in all kind of political drama and like police involvement and police corruption and a bunch of different things like that. It's kind of a dark movie, but it's very, very, very entertaining. Well, I mean, I used to love that movie back in the day. And can't remember who said it. I think it was Sides. He said Tom Sizemore, Ralph Fiennes, yeah, Angela Bassett, Juliette Lewis. Great, great cast, great acting. I mean, great script. All of that was very impressive to me. Let's see. What else do I have here? Let me try to speed through this list a little bit more. Of course, for those who don't remember, Total Recall. I don't think that we even have to go in and explain Total Recall. Are you familiar with Total Recall?
No.
Okay. You have two Total Recalls. You have the original one.
The 1991.
1991 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. The plot of Total Recall is he decides that he's going to go to this place called Total Recall. And in Total Recall, you can go in there. They give you memories of whatever you want to be. So you can decide, I want to be a superhero. I mean, not superhero. I could be a secret agent. I could be a sports star. I could be, I can go and have some kind of wild sexual escapades. You can implant whatever memories you want to. Well, what happens in this one is they find out that before they're able to put the implant in, they find out, oh crap, he really did actually. So the first part you're trying to figure out, did he actually get implanted with the memories or not? Because all this like stuff starts happening to him all of a sudden, like action, like spy kind of stuff. I won't try to give away too much. Whenever he ends up getting to Mars, in that real, that picture where his eyes are all bugged out. He's having a dream about going outside of the walls and not being able to breathe, and that's what's happening there in that GIF where his eyes are all starting to bulge out and he's about to like die.
Mention it.
Yeah, that's what's going on there. And so instead of let's see. Good night, Mona. Make sure to catch the rest of this. I think it'll be definitely entertaining. But it goes into like all kind of politics with them trying to like they literally sell air. So air becomes a commodity on Mars. Well, the second one, it kind of goes with the same theme, except people do not live, they don't go to Mars. They live on two sides of the Earth. The rich people live in a place called New London, and everybody else lives in basically, it looks like maybe China. And so he goes to go do the same thing, the recall thing. They're like, you already have some kind of, you already have, memories in about being a secret agent. And then he's hunted and attacked, and we'll leave it there. But some of the stuff which it throws in there, like he doesn't realize like he has a phone in his hand where his whole hand lights up, where he's able to like put his hand on a different mirror and then call, and it goes into a lot of different stuff in there. It's not quite as good as the first one in my opinion. Some good action scenes and stuff like that, but it's just about the whole trying to implant stuff into your mind and thoughts and memories which you had or didn't have. It gets very, very, very interesting. Um, another thing, another one that I mentioned earlier briefly, the 13th floor. Um, 13th floor. This man has this inkling that the society around him is not real. Kind of like the theme with Matrix. He feels like something's not right about this, and he's trying to figure a way how to get out of this reality or whatever. Um, on the outside of it, there's this guy who keeps going back and forth, and it shows you like different realities keep changing and things like that. Well, he finds out that he is in actually a game simulation. I mean, in a simulation where people are coming in and out of the simulation. The creators of the
Do
simulation.
you want to show a quick snippet?
Yeah, you can show a quick snippet. Yeah, because it, yeah, I'll give a quick snippet first, and then I will go in and explain a little bit more.
On the 13th floor of a corporate tower, a team of scientists have created a portal to a simulated universe. Now, after 6 years of testing, they are about to cross the boundaries of reality. So the whole thing's what, giant computer game?
Nothing so mundane, man. When my mind is jacked in and I'm walking around experiencing 1937, my body stays here and kind of holds the consciousness of the program link unit.
They thought they could maintain control.
You can't just keep plugging your brain into this machine and not expect to be identified.
But once they opened the door,
That's great! Is this real?
the experiment turned on them.
You think one of them units crawled up the extension cord and killed its maker?
I think that's a good place to stop it.
Yeah, and so that's what I was saying. It literally does go into, they're going into this reality. Now I won't spoil. Screw it. It's an old movie, so I'll go ahead and ruin the ending for you. He finds out while he's going back and forth to the 1930s in that reality, that his reality is created also.
So he realized he's trapped in a simulation in a simulation.
Exactly. He's a simulation inside of a simulation. So that's another one that gets crazy. I guess I will entertain their comments there. They talked about porn and VR. Believe it or not, if you guys have HBO, and I don't know, I don't even know if they still have that stuff in there.
They already
But
have,
HBO, what was that?
This is gonna sound crazy, but I went to school with a kid whose his parents owned a few nightclubs, so he had money, and he had the VR first. And this was about seventh, eighth grade. So he came to school, and then amongst all the guys, he was like, "Bro, I watch porn on my VR." He was like, "So it's like in my face." And he was like, the sites they have it set up so you can watch VR.
Mm-hmm. And that was what, 10 years ago?
No, that was maybe 5, maybe.
8?
I was in middle school, like 7 years ago.
So about 7, 8 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. What was it?
No, I'm wrong. That was only 5 years ago.
But I remember hearing about this much earlier. Even the whole virtual characters, because this part like weirded me out. Like people created avatars, and they were like, "I prefer my sex life in the VR world than in the real world," and they would go on and meet people in that world, and like some of them would decide that this is when some of them would decide, for instance, that they want to have like 3 penises or 2 penises. That was a reality. Some people would decide, I'm going to be a half dragon, half man. I'm going to be a like man on the top part, and I'm going to be a horse at the bottom.
People
I'm
do
going to be,
that.
but that's what they were doing, that and having these sexual encounters like that, and creating their own different sexual avatars. An old episode of Real Sex, they talked about that, and one of the guys on there, he was saying all this stuff that you guys get tech wise, it all starts off in the porn industry first. So I kind of did one, and I was like, should I bring it up or not? But yeah, since you guys broached the conversation, then
You should save that for
yeah,
Sunday.
yeah. So that's where it starts over there first. Um, let's
So
see.
are we gonna set this up as a Metaverse Part 2?
I mean, I guess we definitely can do a Metaverse Part 2 because there's so many TV shows also. There's more Metaverse stuff, and then bring the video game version.
Oh, I definitely have a bunch of video games.
Yeah, because we didn't even close to touch any of that stuff, which I'm not going to mention any. I'll save them.
Can I just
But,
tease them with one thing? Can I tease them with one thing before we get out of here?
no. We still got a couple more.
Oh, we do?
I'm gonna try to.
Oh,
I'm gonna run. I'm gonna blast through these last couple because I know we're getting a little short on time. We're getting a little long on time. We're gonna try to wrap at about 2, but give me about. How fast can I do this?
Pop these movies out. Let's get it.
All right, let's pop these out. I won't try to read any comments and get distracted. But honorable mentions. The Feed. You guys on Hulu? I think it's on Hulu. Check out The Feed.
What?
The Feed. I think it's on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken, or it's on Prime. I think it might be Amazon Prime. This one, yeah, The Feed. They're uploading information and different things going into
the feed.
The Feed. Yes, like FEED.
Okay.
The Feed. That one, I won't even. I just say that's an honorable mention, so we're not even gonna really dig into it. I might bring The Feed up on the Part 2 version. Since we're going to do Part 2, so that's what I'll do. Altered Carbon. That way, you guys can have enough time to go out there. If you have the programs, go on ahead and look at them, look at what this stuff is talking about, and then you can, have a little bit more to add back to, the conversation when we go into this on Sunday. Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
Love the show. I loved the show. It's on Netflix. It is actually Netflix original. It's one of their Netflix original. They put a lot of money into this. The first season is
this guy's always in these sci-fi shows.
Anthony Mackie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie's in the Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Mackie is in another really funky sci-fi movie. Because look, we've already named 2 that he's in, and then he has another movie where it's getting into transhumanism in Outside the Wire. Have you heard of that one?
Yes.
Outside the Wire, he plays a cyborg. So I put it this way: anybody that's up to that level, they make me nervous.
Oh, I've seen Outside the Wire.
They with the I can't remember the British kid from The Wire. I mean, not Wire, but from Snowfall.
Snowfall, yes.
Yeah. So I'll put my plus on these to kind of remember to come back to them. Boss Level. I don't know if y'all know about Boss Level, but Boss Level stars Frank Grillo or Grillo. I'm not sure how he pronounces it. And Mel Gibson. And in this one, this man is stuck in a time loop, just like a video game, and reliving the same world over and over and over. And it's you guys just have to see how the time loop, how he's put into the time loop is because his ex-wife does something. She deals a lot with computers and technology and all this stuff like that. So the technology, so it's Grillo. Okay, so the technology she used puts them literally in a simulated loop, in a simulation loop. And so he's reliving the same day over and over and over and over. I won't tell you for what purpose or why, but it's pretty interesting. It's one of those movies where it kind of caught me off guard. I was like, okay, what the heck is this? I don't know. It seems interesting. And then I checked the trailer and I was like, looks interesting. So I recommend that. And I figure, you know what? We'll probably go into boss. We'll go into boss level a little bit. Maybe show a clip of that. I don't know. Amazon could be well. Depends on. I guess I'll time it and make sure it doesn't go too long. I know when we got the copyright strike on the one video, we did play it for like maybe a good 4 minutes, and it was a very controversial scene. So that could be why. So I'll keep that in mind. It is kind of like Groundhog's Day, but Groundhog's Day is just.
Well, this movie, the clip is only 2 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah, Groundhog's Day is something that was just kind of something that was happening where there's not really an explanation. There's an explanation why he's in this time loop. And it has to do with technology. So that's the reason why I say this is definitely a metaverse, type, type flick. You have the clip? Oh, hold on a second. There it is.
You ready?
Yep, we're ready.
Jake, can I get a large bottle of that Baijiu? You know what? Make it 2 large bottles. Because tomorrow isn't guaranteed. You have no idea. I used to complain that every day felt the same. And now every day is the same. Seriously. Shoes, pants, rip them, flip them. Okay, coffee, anyone? I don't know how this is possible, but I keep repeating the same day. Sorry, pal! As many times as I've seen this happen to my apartment, I still can't help but think I'm never, ever getting my security deposit back. It wasn't always like this. I had a woman once. Look at you. The son I love. Now, a bunch of assholes trying to kill me over and over again. But no matter how hard I fight, I die. Every single day. What if the ability to rewrite history was real? What if I can erase our mistakes? This gives me the power of God. Don't worry, son. I'll come back for you. How do I stop this, Jim?
It's not about stopping. It's about restarting.
Exactly. What the hell? Let's take this to the next level. They have an army. All I have is time. I need to learn how to fight with a sword.
Someone's been the busiest little beaver.
I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Yes, I definitely recommend it. It's not only is it's funny, but it definitely has its action scenes. I saw in there Happy Death Day. It is kind of like Happy Death Day, but Happy Death Day doesn't really explain how they're in that. This one definitely does. Says panel, no spoilers. Cabin in the Woods. Um, Actually, L is the expert on Cabin in the Woods. I saw it quite some years back. Yeah, uh, mentioned that one a couple of times already. Cabin in the Woods. Like I said before, it is a simulation. But it's still kind of within the realm of real world and real reality. Like I said, with kind of the Truman Show. But on that one, like on boss level, the big thing about boss level is it's the he literally it is the technology overall. It's not like like he's being put into a video game. The They found a way with computer technology to literally put you into a time warp over and
Wait,
over and over.
sorry to cut you off. Have you ever heard of 8D audio?
8D audio. No, I'm not familiar.
Okay, let's see if I can get the sound to carry over. So basically, it's this sound that when you play with headphones, it kind of sounds like you're at a concert. I'm wondering if that'll be a part of it too. Like maybe you'll watch
Oh,
a
of
movie.
course.
So
Of
let me see if
course.
I can find the audio for you. And this is just some EDM.
No, I believe no, that is in Cabin in the Woods.
What? 8D?
Our house is one of the biggest.
Let's see. Can you tell the difference?
You're on the road and doing promo. You said keep our business on the low.
So you probably
Yeah.
can't tell, but if you had this in on headphones, it would sound like you're at a concert. Like it sounds like it's outside of your house.
Hmm.
And then if
Well,
say you
I mean, that's all of this technology stuff is going to be a part of it. L says everything other than smell. As of right now, smell is definitely going to. It is going to come. It's definitely going to come. And the funny thing about it is, since I know that this technology is going to be out ever before I could come up with it, probably about maybe 15 years ago, I thought if I ever had the money to be able to open a movie theater, I would put I would climate control the movie theater along with the movie. So if you're in scenes when there's a fire, it would actually heat up so the audience felt that same kind of interaction. Cold scenes make it chillier and things like that to add to the realistic effect. And it looks like these are some of the things which are going to come on. Talks about El said it's all about vibrations. Also, I was going to literally add in the vibrations and the shaking of chairs and all of those things like that. And all of that is going to be added into the metaverse to make all of this stuff feel more realistic, to trick your brain even more and more and more. That's how they're going to sell the metaverse, by the realism of it. I mean, we started with the old grainy movies back in the day to now people want the clearest screen that they could
Wait,
possibly get.
I know
So
it's
they
not
get to the point of being involved.
Marcus, even though it's not as popular now, look at 3D, the 3D glasses.
That's giving you a more immersive, vantage point. That's what all of this stuff is about, and it's all leading and conditioning more and more and more to accepting of the metaverse. Um, I guess, I guess I could leave it on that note since we're going to do a part two. I will just give you the names of what to expect for the next one. Just a little bit of it because I'm gonna give you a couple of movies. We're gonna do a couple of
Show.
we're gonna do a couple of TV shows, and then we're gonna do some video games. But here's the movies to expect for next time. So this will give Jalen also some time to do a little homework. Virtuosity, starring Russell Crowe, and Denzel Washington. One of my personal all-time favorite movies, Demolition Man. This oldie but a goodie, Lawnmower Man. I don't know how many people out there are familiar with Lawnmower Man, but Lawnmower Man definitely. Brain Scan. That's another one. I believe it's Edward Furlong starring in that. Edward Furlong, for you guys who remember, that's the guy. That was John Connor in Terminator 2. You know, when he's a teenager. Fahrenheit 451. That's another one. That's gonna. I figure it's probably better to put that one on the second one. You've seen that one?
Yeah.
That one is a lot to go into in that film. So much more to go into. I think that's all I had on my list. I mean, we lightly touched on Jumanji, which I might come back around and talk about Jumanji a little bit more the second time around. We definitely are going to have to. Yeah, you really matched his meat, Sandra Bullock, Demolition Man. Oh yeah, I forgot. This one, because this is not necessarily metaverse, but this is dangers of the metaverse, which I want people to be aware of, would be the net. That's something. That's something that we're going to go into also. The book Jumanji was metaversey. The second one was complete metaverse.
Yeah, because they found the old video game and then jumped into the game.
Yeah.
And then they became Kevin Hart. They became The Rock.
Say Jay has a busy week of movie watching. LOL. Yes.
Just to I know it's off topic, but I watched a few. I watched Bronx Tale. I've been watching just a bunch of classic movies. I watched Goodfellas. I've seen it already. I just really liked the movie. And then I also watched. Have you seen the Ghost Recon movie with Michael B. Jordan?
What is that? What is that? No Remorse?
Yeah, can I pull that up?
That's a excellent movie. I mean, granted, it's a little off topic from Metaverse, but it is a badass movie.
Yeah, just to show it some love. But I mean,
just to show it some love.
If they would have made him into a soldier into a system, then it would have been perfect for the Metaverse. Mm-hmm. But I advise you guys to go and watch it, so I won't spoil it, and I won't spoil any video games.
Yeah, Elle says the book Jumanji was metaversey. The original story was about real life merging with the board game, which before they had the technology, a way that they kind of allude to the metaverse, or actually, I won't say the technology because that's relative. Whenever the technology actually came out with, or she says proto metaverse, where they're showing you the possibility of things that don't necessarily exist in our reality, or don't exist in our reality the way they're portrayed in the film, are put there. I would add on Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That would be another one which I would say would fit along with that proto metaverse. Are you familiar with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Jay? Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where you literally have cartoons and real people interacting together in a world where they both live. So that's what you later on saw with like Space Jam, with Michael Jordan and the Tunes.
Would you classify Space Jam as metaversey?
The second one with LeBron is very much so. Oh yeah,
some pictures.
Very much so. If you would play Jumanji, press 1. If not, press 2. Hell no, I'm not playing Jumanji. Yeah, Virtuosity, that's on the list. That'll be in our part 2 science. Yes, Marcus and Jay gave us some homework to do to binge watch movies and shows. My work is seasonal, so I got time. Good, Thomas.
Oh,
I got so much that I could
okay.
go
Since
into.
since we're since we're talking about shows, I know we've been metaversey, but can I just bring up this one show I want everybody to watch?
What's that?
Dope Sick. Have you heard of it?
I've heard of it. Isn't it not quite a documentary, but it's kind of like a documentary of the opioid
Kind of like
epidemic?
a docu series. So basically, it
Docuseries.
starts from the eight. It starts from the eight. It's like yeah. So it starts in the 80s, and it's the head of Purdue Pharma, and the nephew is coming out with this new revolutionary pain drug called OxyContin. And I'm just gonna say, just watch it from there. It's on Hulu if you guys have Hulu. It's a Hulu original.
And I guess one I would add on, kind of out of not having to do with the metaverse, but if you want to understand some of the stuff which goes on with the cartels and trafficking, especially the last major boss who's went down, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, you guys want to look at Chapo, the show. It's I think it's on Univision, but it is I believe it's on Netflix at this time. I know Narcos has just came out with their season 3, but if you want an accurate depiction of what's going on and it's pretty entertaining, look at that because it starts going into some of the political stuff involving NAFTA and the corruption going on back and forth between the governments, which a lot of times some of these mob boss and narco type shows don't really go into those sides of things. They just focus on a whole lot of action and just this person shot this person screwed over that person, but they don't show how these things persist and are allowed to stay going. So that's one that I would definitely throw out to check out. It's a really good series. Uh, world's most metasexual person. Let's see, but yeah, that I guess that's what we have for tonight. Um, Me and Jay will figure out on Sunday what time we're going to start. So make sure to keep your ears peeled. In fact, I'll probably reach out to you Saturday night. That way, I can figure out and try to get it up as early as possible. So hopefully, everybody can get the notification. Um,
I mean,
but yeah.
we
What was
could
that?
we could do the show in the afternoon, even if the viewers aren't here. For they can always upload it and they'll be there.
Oh well, I always got to make sure to watch out for my game.
Oh yeah, wait. Oh, what's your team?
Chiefs, of course.
Oh, you guys are struggling right now.
We're actually leading the AFC West now.
Oh, I just saw that. I'm only picking fun because they've been the top team the past 2 years.
Well, I mean, every team has their bumps and bruises, so we'll be all right. See, Kelly says we're getting on the road for happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I do not celebrate the holiday, but for all you guys out there, have a safe one. Happy Turkey Day. I actually say if you are celebrating the day, at least take a moment of silence for all the indigenous tribes which were slaughtered um, for that day. So as long as you guys are, given a solemn remembrance and giving a little recognition to those indigenous people who were massacred by the early colonizers, then you're all good in my book. So anything you'd like to add before we get out of here? Oh wait a minute, I saw a comment here. Marcus just has a bro crush on Patrick. No. Anything you'd like to add before we get out of here, Jay?
I really just want them to stay tuned. I think that's it.
Yes. Stay
Oh,
tuned.
actually,
We got things coming.
quick. I know this is rambling, but quick before we get out of here, the last thing I promise. So, you with your background, we've spoke before. So this guy, this African American dude on Twitter goes and says, "Oh, this white guy was saying that black people were Native American. And this black guy goes, here they go with the Native or black Native American BS, but is on Pan-Africanism.
Yeah, those people confuse me. I believe like this. Were some of the natives a little darker than some people imagine? Some were, yes, of course. Do I think that that negates the fact of the people that are recognized now as Native Americans not being Native Americans? No, I don't. I don't agree with that sentiment. Do I believe that there are $5 Indians mixed in with some of those people? Yes. And do I believe that maybe some of the people who are natives might have some European mixture, and some of them,
But the
might
same people does.
might have might not have the exact same phenotype as some of the earlier people. Of course, there's going to be mixing throughout a lot of different people. So I don't think that that negates and says, no, 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 actually, all the original natives, they were all actually like very, very darker, um, you know, darker hue people. And what we recognize as natives today are not the actual native. No, I don't buy that logic. Like I've heard some people try to say that, well, basically everywhere, everybody was all darker melanated, even in the Americas first. And
Yeah, I think there was a theory from that the black woman created the cells to make white, but that doesn't even make sense when you create the cells for the baby for reproduction in the male testicles. So I don't see how a woman would create somebody from a whole other skin tone, a whole phenotype. It just
well, I
doesn't.
mean, I can understand how, because it's scientifically proven that um, two black parents can have basically a kid of basically any melanin complexion, and so I do believe everybody did originate in Africa at some point in time, or not necessarily. Well, in that region, I'll say this, in that region for the most part, and then were branched out over time. Do I believe they lost their phenotype because they moved so far up to cold weather places? No, I think that's nonsense. Um, but I have a different understanding of why I believe native people to at least the Americas, why they had a little bit lighter um, majority, or I'll say a large portion, let's say 60% had a lighter complexion than people who would have been coming out of you know the Levantine area or Africa or those areas. Uh, but that would be something for Hebrew apologetics to get into,
Yeah, I
because
just had a
for
quick.
those who don't realize, I'll put out my stance. And this didn't, I mean, maybe it's controversial, maybe it's not. Um, I am a Hebrew Israelite. I do believe that the original 12 tribes of Israel are so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. I'm not saying that you go by phenotypes, and I'm not saying that because somebody does not outwardly appear like one of those people, that completely excludes them out from being children of Israel, because it says they'll be dispersed to all four corners of the earth, and so they're going to take on phenotypes of all the other nations. Now, it might lower, in my thinking, it might lower the prospect of certain tones being of those tribes, but it doesn't make it outright that you are definitely not. So, and like for instance, I'll give a good example. Prison Break is a show that I used to love to watch back in the day. The main star named Wentworth Miller. If you go back further enough, on his patrilineage side, he has a black father. Now, to look at him, you never know. So we can't go off of necessarily what people look like and automatically just throw them into certain categories. Also, for instance, a lot of people don't know, you go back through Bob Marley, for instance, back through his genealogy. Bob Marley's father was white. and so his father's line is white. But you would look at him and automatically just assume, oh, he's just a black man. So you can't go by phenotypes a lot of times on who's who, but I do in my mind have a okay, if you are one of these three, then there's more likely that you fit into these groups, but it doesn't exclude. I don't go to the point of excluding anybody at this point because I don't know everybody's genealogy. I don't know. That's why, as a Hebrew Israelite, I believe you try the spirit by the spirit. And if your spirit is rejected and buck into the things in there, then that tells me who you are or who you're not.
But we'll save that for the next episode of Hebrew Apologetics.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Jay on there for Hebrew Apologetics, and so look forward to that. I will be probably doing another live stream sometime soon, so make sure to check that out. I got a funny, even if you guys are not into any kind of religion or the Bible or nothing, just come and check out this video that I'm gonna have. It's gonna be hilarious. It's people in the church and what they call getting, I don't even know what they want to call it. I guess catching the spirit. And so I'm gonna have some entertaining. It's just gonna. I might not even go into that much scripture. It's just gonna be hella funny. So I will leave it at that on that one. Thomas says the natives.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Look, I went on my YouTube to go to the feed, and the first thing, the metaverse.
Oh, it knows what we're talking about. Thomas says the natives of the tropics are darker, while the natives in moderate or cooler climates are olive to light brown. We have some Asiatic involved American phenotype. I have different views than Marcus. I know, but I'm gonna prove it to you, my brother. I'm gonna prove it to you, and I'm gonna explain where I believe those Asiatic where that Asiatic comes from. I don't believe in the Bering Strait. I don't believe in that theory, and we could have a friendly debate / build on why that's wrong. But I still love Thomas. Thomas is my brother. Um, and I guess on that note, make sure to check out because that's right, it is the end of the week. We're going to have some interesting stuff on the political matrix Saturday night, so make sure you guys are strapped in. I definitely going to talk about some comments Bill Gates has made. We're probably going to talk about some Ahmaud Arbery. I got a clip that I want to show also about hyper supersonic missiles and about a general, one of the Joint Chiefs of Staff who is kind of shitting a brick right now and getting a little bit scared.
Marcus, you have a lot lined up this weekend.
A lot lined up, so make sure you follow all of my channels across the board. Yeah, as Bill, as Elle says, let's keep this disclaimer here.
Wait,
Bill Gates is not a doctor.
Can we
not a doctor.
Can we stamp that with an exclamation point?
Yes. Next time, put like 4 exclamation points behind that L. Hold on, we have one more. I remember Kenwick. Man's lineage was traced to Japanese island people. Yeah, things can get, and we got to remember how far are we going back and stuff like that, and things get different. I've seen people in Nigeria who literally have less Nigeria, and they've never left, as far as they know of, have less Nigerian ancestry than people who have grown up here stateside. I also, well, even though I don't look like it, through, at least on my mother's side, I have more Asiatic than almost anything in my DNA, which that can go to indigenous or however you want to look at it. But, that's for a whole nother debate. And also, I don't really trust genetics that much anyway, because I don't trust the companies and the people who run them. So, Kelly says, I forgot about Saturday. Hope to see you all then. Yes, hope to see you all. There we go. Bill Gates is not a doctor or a scientist. Just a reminder. He is just a rich man with a lot of money who pushes his opinions. That's what
And
I got to say.
who also didn't make Microsoft from off the ground.
No,
But
he
that's a
didn't.
whole nother video.
That's a whole nother video. But on that note, thank you, my brother Misha. Peace out. Be safe out there to everyone. And if you are driving anywhere for your holiday plans next week, I know it's a little early, but I'm praying for you all. Be safe out there. According to the Mormons, the Native Americans were from Jerusalem. Yes, I know, but I was trying to tell Thomas that, but he don't want to hear it. But we're gonna have a fun little conversation one of these days about it. I'm gonna convince him one way or another. I'm gonna show him the evidence. But yeah, I want to say thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for catching us. If you're catching us later on, and while this is not live, thank you all for tuning in, especially if you hung all the way through to the end. But make sure to check us out coming up Sunday for part 2 of the Metaverse. Thank you all. Have a good night.
All right. Good night, guys.